You make more money than you used to, maybe a lot more, and yet somehow you still feel broke. Not can't pay the bills broke, but that quiet, nagging feeling that no matter how much comes in, it's never quite enough. If you felt that, you're not bad with money. You're not undisciplined. You're not doing something wrong. You're experiencing something specific, something that has a name, something that wealthy people figured out how to escape, and most people never do. That's exactly what we're getting into today. Hey, I'm Alex, and welcome to Wealth Unspoken. I remember the first time I got a pretty significant raise. I was convinced everything was about to change. More money coming in meant more money left over. Finally, room to breathe. But within 6 months, I felt exactly the same as before. The same stress, the same feeling of not having quite enough. More income, but still, same feeling. I thought something was wrong with me, but it wasn't me, it was a pattern. A very specific, very predictable pattern that almost everyone falls into and almost nobody ever really talks about it. Here's what's actually happening. The first reason you still feel broke, even with a good income, is lifestyle creep. And lifestyle creep is sneaky because it never feels like a splurge. It just feels like a reasonable upgrade. You earn more, so you move to a nicer apartment. You earn more, so you get a better car. You earn more, so the restaurants get nicer, the vacations get longer, the wardrobe gets upgraded. None of that feels excessive. All of it feels earned. Like you deserve an upgrade, right? But what's actually happening is that your expenses are rising at exactly the same rate as your income, and sometimes even faster. So the gap between what you earn and what you keep never widens. It stays exactly the same, or even shrinks. I fell into this so hard in my late 20s. Every raise became a new expense within months, and I kept wondering why more money never felt like more money. Lifestyle creep doesn't feel like a problem until you do the math, until you see the outcome of that creep. But many of us don't do the math, or don't notice the creep until after it's become a problem. Here's something that took me a long time to understand. There are two kinds of financial lives, the one people see and the one that's actually happening. Someone can drive a nice car, live in a nice neighborhood, wear nice clothes, and have almost nothing in assets. And someone else can drive an old car, live in a modest home, dress in thrift store finds, and have a net worth that would shock you. The first person only looks wealthy. The second person actually is wealthy. Most people are optimizing for looking wealthy, and it costs them. Because every dollar that goes toward the appearance of wealth is a dollar that doesn't go toward actual wealth. The feeling of being broke, even with a good income, is almost always the result of spending on the image of wealth, instead of on the framework of building wealth. Cars depreciate, designer clothes depreciate, status purchases depreciate. But assets appreciate, investments appreciate, ownership appreciates. One makes you look rich, the other makes you rich. Here is where people start playing a different game. Your income is not your wealth. I know that sounds crazy, but to others that might sound super obvious. And here's what I mean. They measure their financial health by what they earn. I make 6 figures. I got a big raise. My salary went up. But income is just water flowing into a bucket. If the bucket has holes, like lifestyle creep or debt payments, then it doesn't matter how fast the water flows in. The bucket never fills up. Wealth is what stays in the bucket, not what flows through it. Wealthy people measure differently. They're not saying, "What did I earn this month?" But they say, "What did I keep?" or "What did I build?" I made this switch in my early 30s. I stopped tracking income and started tracking net worth. And suddenly, the raises felt different. Because the question wasn't, "How much more am I making?" It was, "How much more am I keeping?" That kind of shift changes how you make every decision. And here's the good news. The feeling of being broke on a good income is fixable. Not with more income, but with a different relationship to the income you already have. So, here's 3 moves you can start taking today. First, widen the gap. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth is built. Every raise is an opportunity to widen that gap, not maintain it. When income goes up, keep expenses flat, at least for a while. Let the gap breathe. Second, measure net worth, not income. Once a month, add up what you own and subtract what you owe. That number is your real financial health, not your salary. Third, make every raise work before you spend it. Before the lifestyle upgrade, before the new car, before anything. Redirect a percentage of every raise into something that builds wealth. And then let the rest improve your life. The wealthy don't earn more and spend more. They earn more and build more first. Then, and only then, will spend more. The order is everything. So, if you make good money and still feel broke, you're just playing the wrong game. You're measuring the wrong numbers, and likely spending on the wrong things. You don't need to earn more income. You need to keep more of what you're already earning. When you build more, you own more. That broke feeling isn't about your income, it's about what happens to it after it arrives, after it gets deposited into your bank account. Change that, and your entire life could change. I'm Alex, and this was Wealth Unspoken. See you next time.